Are you ready? Now this next verse, it says, instead take the love and compassion of the bodhicitta as your based from the very start. This is a very important message. And basedly, or groundly, sourcely, or like kind of the originally to have bodhicitta, love and compassions, any kind of the dharma activities. It doesn't matter when you listen to the teaching, or you are contemplating the dharma teaching, or you are meditate on it, or any kind of visualization, recitations, any dharma activities when you undertake is like based like to have love and compassion of the bodhicitta. That is the very important. And make a sincere effort to put everything you know about the generation and perfection phase into practice to the basis of your abilities. That is a very important things. Here is the basis of your ability according to your knowledge. And generally, of course, very important things to study the meaning of the generation and generation and perfections. This is a true kind of the phases or the true aspect. And normally we say is the relative truth or absolute truth. Generation stage and perfection. And this is the spatial path and like a typical and specific path of the Vajrayanas. And Vajrayana's path is the generation path and perfection path. And it's necessary to know about that. Yesterday we are saying that based the generation enhanced, embraced by firstly is to have natural state. Secondarily, to have such a compassion. Thirdly, how it is the appear the deities of the VAJRASATTVA from like kind of the later home. And this like kind of the cause of the generations is started later. Maybe sometimes sometimes home, different. And these three things are the very important. These three things is like combine all any sadhanats. Sadhanats, there is all the entire, any kind of sadhanat, there's two stage or phase. Generation and perfection. Perfection and dissolution is the same. That is a little bit to make the familiarity according to your ability. That is the most important. Of course, someone has such ability, faculty, wisdoms. They understood about this very important three things. You call the three samadhis. It's possible, no problem. And you top of there is you understand the like kind of true important things, approach and accomplishment. And this is like kind of the structure of the or the process of the sadhana. And then we added yesterday there is four like kind of the gate of the sacred mantra and scriptures. And that is the most important. First one is like according to your abilities. When you are reciting the generation prayers, very important to word and the meaning clearly to say, clearly to make the sound. And in this perspective, sometimes you should to read your own language. That is also very important. And second is like concentration, focus. Focus, it is the door of the like samadhis. When you are like kind of the generation, like meaning is coming into your mind clearly or not, it's like kind of depends on your focus, like concentrations. And your concentration of focus on it very well, and then it's the like through these doors your samadhi, inconceivable vipassana samadhis can occurring. And then it's like mental recitations, like a kind of when you are digging gold or taking milk from the cows. It's like same as during the like kind of mental recitations on VAJRASATTVA samadhi. That moment is like say, can you bless me? Can I receive all the qualities of the Buddha, of the Vajrasattvas? May I become like same as you, like kind of the invoking. And that is the during the mental recitations. For example, like kind of the Vajrasattvas, the 100 Silpi mantras is most times talking about the qualities of the Vajrasattva and talking about ask to say, can you please to give me, can you establish, can you like kind of blessing me as same as you. It's like kind of provoking and realization of the qualities of the Vajrasattvas. And that is like kind of the third, like kind of the sculpture doors. And like a third, like sculpture door of the mental recitations. This is like provoking, ask to be installed to us Vajrasattva's qualities. And that is like kind of the way to get way through the mental recitations. And of course, then inside, there are such a kind of the symbolic, and also it's like same time is more connected to the activity, I would say. And like then kind of symbolic, significant things, it is like kind of the through the mudras. And like kind of the body mudra and verb, everything is like a kind of sealed by the ourselves, this contaminate body by the like Buddhas, the Vajrasattvas. And like this, during the sadhana or during the practice, you should to use your basis of your ability, how much you have the notion of the generation, perfections, very important. That is like as much as you know according to your ability, that sincerely put the effort. Of course, through the like based your like bodhicitta, compassions. Then you do like this, then it's like kind of Patrul the perfect. Then it's like I don't know, original, this is maybe Pembakaras. Never give up the wish to help to others. To meditate on the generation and perfections phase and recite mental and other people's house well-being will then be no different from doing it in your own. After they changed. Oh, okay. Maybe it's like who changed? Is Masha or someone's to change this different? After changed, if you are never give up your wish to help others, then ever you meditate on the generation and perfection phase and recite mantra in other people's house, or doing it in your own house, home, there will be no different. Okay, their translations different. But, okay, maybe it's like we can to follow the after they changed. If you never give up your wish to help, this never you give up bodhicitta, kindness, based above the explanations to like helping others, then even you are meditate on the generation and great perfections or perfections phase and recite mantra in other people's house, like a kind of the patrons or the benefactor's house, you doing it, or maybe your own home, or maybe solitude in your place. Absolutely there's no different. There's not different, exactly the same benefit. But of course, generally it's like you haven't got the, how to say, it's like we generally thinking, yeah, I'm going to like benefactors or the patron's house, I need to do because that is my, how do you say, tiresome chores, like kind of like how do you say, tax, I need duty, I need to do that. But there is most, for me, is like important, I cannot interrupt my continued daily practice. That is like more attentively doing. This is a very much dualistic, very much kind of the separated, like a selfish way. But if someone is like really needed help, really need to do like some puja, you go to their help sincerely, you using your ability and honors it, generate bodhicitta as much as like maintain natural state, as much as you have the notion of for the generation stage and dissolution stage you use, then you pray, you do the like kind of this true path, then it says it's like doing the like both fold, like true fold, like benefit for self, others, you doing others home or you doing like your home or solitude is exactly the same, it's not different. And like kind of yesterday they said is you all the time is sitting other like a patron's cushion, and on you sitting other sitting like a cushion, then you become enlightened mindset. Maybe that is sometimes is also true. Someone's like all the times doing benefit for others like benefactor, but sometimes we criticize, this person's all the time is like kind of a job, it's like duty, they collect like a hand out food, like this kind of for that, then they are doing benefactors purchase it. But actually maybe if you are through the compassion, love, kindness, you really like help to the benefactor or the patrons, it is a very much kind of benefit. You are doing same like daily practice. Therefore here it says, and also here it says, in either case, another case, and the need to be free of the selfish thoughts and to care about the helping others, it is that like kind of sin for these two attitude are the both indispensable. And this is like kind of when we are doing, like generally, according to our selfish, we like more attentively when we doing our daily practice, but we are doing some puja or like kind of the others benefit for the patterns, not very attentive. But now it's like kind of you should to exchange it. Maybe it's your benefit, something daily practice, maybe if lesser it's okay. And maybe it's like kind of your motivation is enhanced by the compassion, kindness. Then you're doing for the patterns puja ceremonies, but then that is very much profound. That is become the more attentively, focusedly, honestly you're doing like benefactors, like patterns puja. Then it's the same as your daily like kind of personal practice. It's exactly the same thing. And therefore it is like very important, and it's very, very important, insurpassable, it's necessary. And it's like when you are doing benefit for yourself attentively, this like same as attitude also when you're doing to puja others. That's necessary, indispensable, right? And if you stay undistracted and to not mix at your recitation with ordinary speech, to say the 100 Salipi mantra 108 times without interruption, will undoubtedly purify all your evil actions and obscurations, and will valuation and breaches, violations and breaches of vows and samaya. Such is VAJRASATTVA's permanence. What does it mean, these sentences? If you are you use your ability, you use the notion for understanding of how you generate and dissolutions. And when you are recited 100 Salipi mantra, like undistractedly, your mind is, and you never mix it, the recitation of the VAJRASATTVA with any kind of the ordinary speech. That is like kind of the uninterrupted of the river. Your mental recitations extraordinary. To say the 100 Salipi mantra 108 times, this is like kind of the one mala, without interruption, like a kind of by the saying, or like kind of during the mental recitation, any kind of ordinary thoughts, ordinary speech, never interrupted. Well, undoubtedly, there's no need to doubt. And this is like kind of the VAJRASATTVA's promised. You purified all your evil actions 100%. And all the like kind of the evil action like natural evil action or violation, Buddha's edicts. And through that there's a different obscuration, like 4 obscuration or another any kind of obscurations. There's like can purified, it says, by the VAJRASATTVAs. And although all violations against it and the breach means you broke it, like you broke samaya, you broke vows, you broke these things. And the vows is like kind of patimoksha or the inner Bodhisattva or secret Mantrayanas, more like Patimokkshas and Bodhisattvas. Samayas is according to the vows of the Vajrayanas. Any of these things, if you are some downfalls, violated these things, these like evil actions, it can such is the purified, like a kind of the pomassed by the Vajrasattva itself. And also it's the Vajrasattva Tantra, the Tantra of the Immaculate Confession says. Immaculate or like stainless confessions. This is the Tantra, it is like the Vajrasattva's Tantra, is like how it is the Paramahansa saying. The 100 syllable mantra is the quintessence of the mind of all the Sangata. It purifies all the violations, all breaches, all the conceptual obscurations. Here is like Vajrasattva saying the heart essence of Sangatas, quintessence of the minds of the Sangata, like heart drop of the Sangatas, which is the 100 syllable mantra. If you recited this 100 syllable mantra without like kind of uninterruptedly 108 times in the above they said, it purified all your violations. Violations is like kind of the downfall or break, and like kind of the against it, any kind of vows. And also the breaches. Breaches like kind of the samaya broken these things. And like kind of then also purified all the conceptual obscurations. And conceptual obscuration is like, of course, all the obscuration comes from the source of the conceptual obscurations. Each obscuration is connected to the evil actions. Evil action is connected to the conceptual ideas, like a mental, ordered to the body, speech, minds. And then it's like kind of the violated, like this, the vows. And this can be purified. And it is the supreme confession. And the recite it 108 times without interruption. Repair all violations and breaches and well save one from trembling into the three lower realms. It is the immaculate, and the confession sutta is saying like this. Such as the supreme confession, which is the mantra of the 100 syllable mantras. If you recite in 108 like one mala, without interruptions, by the conceptual thoughts, by the ordinary speech, then it can repay what you broken. Violation means it's carelessly or you kind of the broken. Any kind of the vows, outer vow according to Patimokkha, inner vow according to the Bodhisattvas, secret vows of the Mantrayanas. And you don't need to go to the hell, safe from the trembling into the low, like 3 low realms, hell, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. You don't need to go, you are saved. The Bodhisattva of the past, present, and future will look on the yogi who recite it as a daily practice as the most excellent child. Even in the very lifetime, and will watch over and protect himself. And like the yogi of the Vajrasattva yogi, and this is like kind of the Vajrasattva Guru Yogas. You have become the yoga for the practice Vajrasattvas. Then how you become like this? You are the practice. This is as the like kind of daily practice. And like kind of your commitment. Every day maybe you want to say the recited 108 times. And then it's like kind of what happens. And you are the heir of the old Buddhas, past and futures, present. You are the son of the Buddha, past, present, futures. And therefore Buddha of the past, present, futures. And look at the you. For example, past all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, whoever sentient beings generate bodhicitta, thinking about the benefit for the sentient beings, they purify their own obscurations. Their mind is automatically shine to their like kind of the head or heart. It's like kind of, this is inevitable. Maybe Buddha and Bodhisattvas, no need to attention to say, this person's practicing me. Pray, I might focus towards to them. Not like this. And like automatically, for instance, like sun is light in the sky. If someone is like kind of go in the sunlight automatically they are coming. Like in order to get the light luminosity of the Buddha past, present, futures, we should generate bodhicitta, thinking benefit for other sentient beings, purified our obscurations. Then this is a great invocation, great like kind of the hook, bring naturally Buddha and Bodhisattvas kind of the blessing, attention, and like this. This is like kind of the natural like this. Like resisting the daily practices. Most excellent child, like say, they like kind of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, successor. And like you do like this, you are continue holding enlightened activities. Enlightened activities is need to do the benefit for the sentient beings, not selfish. And if you are like kind of purified your obscurations, that is also benefit for others. Also you yourself, you become the great genuine. You are like become the jewel, extraordinary, not only benefit for others, like yourself to others. For example, sometimes it says family, country, schools. Some great students, they study very well and then they give present. They say, this child maybe study very well, maybe this person, this child grow up, maybe help to family, neighborhood, and societies, countries. How much they expect like this. This sort of Buddha and Bodhisattvas mind us all the times dedicated benefit for sentient beings. If someone's concerning the sentient beings, their mind is naturally you bring towards to you. You don't need specifically, please could you give me blessing? Can you look upon me? You are to be my side. No need to say that. You generate bodhicitta, concerning benefit for others. Their mind automatically, naturally cling to theirs. Like this. even in this very lifetimes, absolutely, in your this very moment, this life, 100% you will become more and more received, but more and more kind of benefit. And not only in these lifetimes, maybe well in the watch over and over again and again, protect in the future. Like for instance, we can to say it's like some green vegetations, they like kind of once grow up on the sunlight. If never is like separate the sunlight, they all the time is grow up, die, grow up. Maybe sunlight is no anymore there is, maybe difficult to grow up. Like this. Maybe in the summertime we say it's like according to our like kind of the aspiration, faith, devotions. And also it's like strength of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Maybe we are like kind of the reborn a human being, and also we reborn some good place. We can account to the Buddha and teaching and teachers, so on. This kind of like protectors, protect him. Like this is Vajrasattva saying like this. And also at this death, he will undoubtedly became the finest of the all the Buddha's heirs. And also it's like kind of maybe in this life you be enlightenment, like naturally you become the successor of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. But maybe it's like at not that case, but even after you died, 100% all the Buddha's Sangatas are like kind of naturally, like you are like kind of the welcome. They revitalize you, pray to you, and saying that like kind of the fortunate, naturally occurring. We sometimes say it's like, the kind of visualize Buddha. I realize that Tara, I have a vision of Tara. Maybe Tara itself is like, oh, this person's practice. I want to go to this front of person, show my face, or this. I think Jetsun Dharma or Buddha, Bodhisattva, they haven't got this kind of conceptual intentions. Nothing. But according to our like kind of the faith, devotion, understanding of the nature realities, compassions, you constantly other sentient beings. The like kind of the no choice. Like for example, great mothers, like a child is cries, mother cannot sleep, mother cannot to rest, running automatically. Like kind of this, because like Buddha and Bodhisattvas, same as we are, when they are took on the path at the beginning, they prayed a lot, may I become the benefit for sentient beings. The beginning they apply bodhicitta, in the middle they meditate bodhicitta, finally they realize the bodhicitta. Then they become like this, such a kind of automatic benefit for others. Like this is in the Vajrasattva's, the Immaculate Confession Sutta say like this in the Vajrasattva self. And also the whatever violation and breaches of the root and branch, samayas, you may commit it after setting out on the path of the secret mantrayana. Then what happened? The really reputation of the 100 Salipin mantra. 21. Look, yesterday we said 25. Even the 21 times every day while you are meditating on the Vajrasattva constitute what is called the blessing of the downfalls. The blessing of the downfalls means it's like kind of down thoughts blessed by the 100 sleep mantra of the Vajrasattva. Even the every day you recite 20 once, it can bless means can purify it. And of course, it is like kind of when we are enter into the Vajrayanas, and at that time there is kind of you can to break breach of the root. Maybe you against some your root teachers body speech minds. There are the branches samayas a lot, millions, a lot. Maybe it is like quoting that, then you are like difficult to keep. You a little bit violated, like a breach, and like kind of the many different broke. You committed after setting out on the path. When you are like kind of on the path of the secret mantrayanas. Then what you can to do if you not confess, Vajra hell. Confess, then 100% no problem. And like this, the daily like kind of the repetition of the 100 sleep mantra, then is your like a down thoughts, any kind of breach or root or branch and violated. Is this mantra recitations blessed, and this down thoughts not much result to make the result. Very important. And even not like this, it will prevent the effect of those downfalls from developing or increasing. It's like tooth. For example, if you are broken some root samaya or the branches samayas, when you take like a path of the secret mantrayanas, and then it's like if you do not confess, they're like kind of this downfalls developing, increase. As much as you keep that much every day. For example, in the word of my perfect teacher, there's one Lama, he says, when they everything think kind of the downfalls or broken, he immediately confess. Even though sometimes he's traveling, certainly he has bad thoughts, he immediately down from the horse back and to sit there. He doesn't want to move. He has one mandal setting and he do the confession like a Soyong prayers. Like he all the time is doing like this. Like this, if we do not confess, we do not kind of repair our downfalls or violations or the vows, then it's all the time is developing, increase. But if you per day at least 21 timers to recite the Vajrasattva mantras, it's never developed, just increase. Even like it doesn't disappear, but never develop, never increase. That's very important. That's like this. 100,000 recitations will completely purify all your downfalls, according to the essential comment. And essential comment. And also I think it is saying it's like explanation center of the Vajrasattvas. And how it is says, if you, the 100,000, normally we are during the Hundru, this 100,000 times if you do, then purified your all downfalls, absolutely. For example, if you need to receive direct pit instructions, ancient times is very, very difficult. When you go to ask lamas, they ask to you, you done Hondro? Have you done how many times recitation of the Vajrasattva? If you say it's like, oh, I don't done 100, but I recite 100,000 Vajrasattva mantras, they immediately no problems. For example, my root teachers, some give empowerment, very difficult. Or you need to study many years Dharma, or maybe you need to done some like 100 sleep mantra 100,000 times. And or you need to complete the Hondro like 500,000. And without that, impossible to receive some important empowerment. But once I remember, there's one monk, he came, he was very much insistent, Rinpoche, I want to receive. But then he said, yes, I can to accept, but you are not good for your benefit, you done. Then he said, sorry, I didn't done Hondro to refugee bodhisattva, but I did 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra. Not, he said 500,000 Vajrasattva mantras. He was so smiling, very happy, no problem, you can to comes. Like this, if you recited like 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra recitations, it's like this quote essential comment, can purify all the kind of the downfalls. Patimoksha, Vajrasattva and secret mantrayanas. Like here is what it says is, the recite correctly 21 times the 100 sleep mantras. This is first explanations. And even if you like kind of the 21 times, yeah, it's like this. It doesn't correspond because it's translations. Pekadav then Dorjisembami. And recite correctly 21 times the 100 sleep mantra while clearly visualizing Vajrasattva seated on the white lotus and moon. Then it's like constitute the blessing of the downfalls. And that is like kind of the first, the explanations. I would to say it's like the 100 sleep mantra while clearly visualize the Vajrasattva and recite the correctly 21 times, and not this one is to sit it on the white lotus and the moon. This is beginning is like this. The sit on a white lotus and moon, and bring back, okay? And who is Vajrasattva? And then it's like the 100 sleep mantra. And how you can to recite while clearly visualization like the Vajrasattva that timers. Then you recite correctly 21 times, and then it's like constitute the blessing of the downfalls. This is already explanation above. Like 21, like you recite the Vajrasattva mantra, it can blessing your downfalls, means like kind of the purifying. And also which are those kept from increase. That also explain. And like kind of develop, increase never happened. If you are like kind of keep, do not confess, then they are kind of the increase to developed. That is like kind of the stopped. And that is thus the great sadhas have taught. Who taught? It's the great Mahasiddhas, ancient times. And even the VAJRASATTVA itself like this. Then it's like, so practice it always. Very important to say. All the times it's necessary to practice at least 21 times per day. Then if you recite it 100,000 times, and then you will become the very embodiment of utter purity. And then it's like you become the representative Buddha, like your body is Buddha, Buddha is your speech. Your mind is same as the Buddha. These are both, the explanation is like this. Therefore, there's many different reasons. In Tibet, these days, there cannot be single lama, monk, layman, or the lay woman who has never recited on empowerment and who has never for not taken up the secret mantra. Here in Tibet, particularly, this is like according to Tibet, maybe also in our more Western, our practitioners. When it's holiness, like different holiness, give empowerment. And many is like kind of we receive the secret mantrayanas vow, the like empowerment. Like here is like in Tibet, there's no existence, any kind of lamas, monk, lay men or lay women. Everybody like empowerment is like really their hobby. Wherever there's giving empowerment, everybody can run. They're not much studied, but empowerment, they are hungry. You take empowerment, any kind of secret mantra, then you receive the samaya, like kind of vows. Receive the empowerment, like during the empowerment, you receive the empowerment of the 5 Buddha families. According to the 5 Buddha families, there's a different type of the samayas. Then you brought like kind of the bridge and downforth, then it's not very good. And who has, therefore, you should to have kind of samayas. And not taking up the secret mantrayanas empowerment. Once you receive the empowerment, then you have the samayas. Are you okay? You are not sleeping? No? Okay. Okay, a little bit, 10 minutes we can stop. To get fresh air,